Hi, I'm Jake from FrisbeeGuru.com, and I'm going to talk to you about a crank. So basically a crank is when you have the disc on your nail and you make your arm go completely under your armpit, back up, and back down. Now you can do this in either direction and it's still called a crank. So for example, I could start here, lift up, turn my wrist over, pull back under my armpit. That's also a crank. So I'll show you with my other hand. Poof. Now that means there are 2 cranks, 1 for each hand, 1 for each spin, which makes 4. So, counter, crank, counter, right hand, crank. You can also do a clock. Crank, clock, crank. You can also use the crank to connect in other restricted moves. So this is a basic counter right hand crank. I could use my leg here and add a restriction. It's really the same motion with the arm. I'm just adding the leg as a restriction. I could also do it from the other side, restriction first, then crank. And a nice thing about that is you can have a lot of variety in your game just by learning that basic crank motion and then throwing in some restrictions. I'll give you one more. Counter behind the back. You can also go counter behind the back that way. That's basically a crank too. Really learning that crank motion is very important to having a full repertoire in Freestyle Frisbee. I'll have a follow-up video on how to do against the spin cranks and talk to you a little bit more about the details. But I would suggest starting with the spin cranks, especially if you are a newer player and you're just learning the rim delay. The crank is a really simple move to add to your repertoire and give you a lot of variety. And if you like this video, go check out FrisbeeGuru.com. There will be more, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.